I'm centered. Hi, everyone. How are you? Hope everyone's doing well. Try to fix my hair before this makes me nuts. If you guys could let Paul know if you can hear me and see me all right, that would be super helpful. I don't want to go ahead and get started until I'm positive. Okay, excellent. All right. So, I do want to encourage you guys to start posting your questions now. We're going to get to as many of these as we can. Questions can be about anything. Spiritual development, psychic questions, lost objects. If you're asking about your love life, if you're asking about your job, if you're asking about a deceased loved one or pet, I do just ask that you include names of anyone that you're referring to, living or deceased. And if you are asking about a job and it's a comparison, like should I be with this one or this one, again, include names for both. If it's private, include initials. I also want to announce that we have some new merch in here. So we've got some Ivy League Psychic Academy face masks. Absolutely loving them. I got myself a makeup bag just for my purse, like throw a bunch of junk in this. They have 3 different sizes for this. I love it. This is like the medium version. Got some tapestries, some new long sleeve tees. Come on over here. Hoodie, sweatshirts, a bunch of stuff that we've had in time. We got Polly over here with the, this is the long sleeve tee. Love it, love it. All right, so check it out, guys. Also water bottles, mugs, like literally everything.
Shower curtains, bath mats.
Oh, shower curtains. I know, I love that so much. Okay. So I see that my hair is not going to be working with me today, and I can't just leave it like this. So I'm in debate how I'm going to handle it. It's going to make me nuts. All right, so again, I want to encourage you guys to start posting your questions. We'll get to as many as we can. I also want to announce that we have coming up tomorrow is empathic awareness training. Now, I talk about this class a lot because it's available through video download. You don't have to join us or wait for it. You can just go on to the Ivy Rivera empathiceducator.com website. You can click on that. We have empathic awareness training for the general public. We have it for like parent to child. We have it for teachers, and you can get teacher credits for that. We have it for activists, anti-burnout, you name it. But tomorrow's class is going to be empathic awareness for the general public. It's a 2-hour training starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. And it's going to teach you what empathic ability really is from a scientific, medical perspective, as well as what I've learned after helping people for the last 10 years and dealing with it myself. So what is effective? And how can you use certain tools and techniques to better manage it? So if you have anxiety, depression, ADHD-like symptoms, if you feel that you're often overloaded mentally and emotionally and you don't know why, this is really going to be the class for you. Now, empathic awareness is also week 2 of our psychic mediumship course, which just started last week. So if you missed it, if you haven't enrolled yet, you could still jump in, and this would be week 2 for you. All right. So that link to the website to register for psychic mediumship course is in the bio. That would be the Ivy League Psychic Academy.com site. We have coming up Thursday here on YouTube at 8 p.m. Eastern, the Exhausted Intuitives Survival Guide, a free mini class I'm putting out. Since the pandemic hit, I've been putting out 1 to 2 free mini classes per week called the Quarantine Series. So check that out. If you are exhausted, you're an intuitive, you're not sure what's going on with your energy all the time, this is going to be a healing class for you. This is your survival guide. Saturday, we have walk-in night virtual, meaning online, 100% online psychic fair showcasing students and graduates of the Ivy League Psychic Academy. We do sell out every month. Tickets are on sale now, but you're going to want to get them ahead. It is a first come, first serve event. For $15, you get 2 readings, 2 healings, a reading and a healing. You can mix or match. Okay, so check that out in the bio website link. Very good. How are we doing? We have some people posting.
Good, yeah, and we've got some donations rolling in. I want to thank everybody for that. And if you're so inclined, the donation button is right down the bottom under where you chat.
Yes, I forgot to mention that. Thanks so much for the donations, guys. And also, if you want to become a member, you can hit that join button to get like behind the scenes extras, extra curriculum, direct spirit messages over the course of the month, all kinds of great stuff like that. Okay. My hair this is going to drive me nuts the whole night. This is just like, why do I bother? See, so curly hair girls will appreciate this. Like sometimes you think, oh, I'm going to flat iron this thing out, and
I think it's great.
It just decides to come back whenever it wants. Okay. So if we have questions, comments, we're good on volume and everything, I would hope. Okay, very good. Yes. So welcome everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Arawak, and I own a school called the Ivy League Psychic Academy, where I train people internationally, online, in everything, ranging from psychic mediumship development to numerology, astrology, tarot, Reiki, empathic abilities, children as well as adults. So we hope that you check out some classes there. We hope to have you. And I have Paul Casey, Healing Arts, my adorable producer. How are you, Paulie?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you tonight?
I'm good. So this is my weekly Monday show, Ask Ivy, where I take your personal questions. Feel free to post them in the comments section. I also do here on YouTube weekly mini classes. And we have our Roots Revival Interfaith Church every Sunday, so you can also see services here. So hit those playlists to check all that other stuff out. Okay, are we ready to get going?
Yes.
What do we have?
Let's start with Lola. She says, will I be approved for my townhome in Louisville, Kentucky?
I think that you will. There does seem to be a little bit of a holdup, and it reminds me of the kind of issue that would come from like closing problems. Okay, so it just sort of looks like when you're about to close on a property, sometimes there's just extra drama. There are things that come in that require extra paperwork or contracts, or it's almost like I'm watching somebody sign off on something, and I would not be surprised if that is like approximately a 2-month process, or there are 2 separate things. And then it feels to me like it's flowing after that. Yes. Congratulations.
Okay. We have one from Christina.
Okay.
Who says, several of my belongings are being moved off of my desk into drawers and other rooms in the middle of the night. All items are beauty items I use on the daily. Who is trying to reach me and why?
Okay. I do feel that you have some paranormal activity. I think that these are the items that are being chosen because these are the items that you would notice. I don't feel that there's any more significance with it other than that. And so I think that what we might be looking at here is what we would call an elemental issue. So you may also start to notice that things like that are getting annoying, or that it also is like your keys, or it's more important stuff that you need, bills, things that you don't want to be losing. So it's going to be important that you speak up and that you set boundaries. We just did a class here called, what was it? Is your house haunted? 10 signs. It was called 10 signs your house is haunted. Okay. The other thing I'm getting with you is a closed throat chakra. And so I do feel that you have a grandmother who comes around a lot, who's also watching over you, who may have lost her voice before she passed, but she's talking about you need to better communicate. So I do feel that there are a couple different areas in your life right now. One being like romantic, or we would say relationship, and the other one being work, where it's really important that you're speaking out. And I think that, she may also be coming and paying you some extra visits lately. But I don't always feel that these 2 things are connected. Interesting. Okay.
Okay, we have one from Amia,
I can't
maybe?
stand it. Uh-huh.
Can you tell me what blockages are stopping my manifestation?
Well, I think that one of the things that you do is you tend to negate what you just decided to claim. And so we want to be very careful that once you decide to go ahead and claim something for yourself, meaning you are bringing it to you, that you don't decide now you're going to worry about it or you're going to start to feel disheartened. It's almost like despair, or I'm going to decide that I have negative thoughts about it, and I'm going to entertain those instead of sticking with the positive. So that's one of the things that I'm getting. The other thing that I'm getting here is that there is some stuff in your life that you haven't done. And so I feel that the universe has told you, your guides have told you, you have been notified that there's some work that you have to do, mostly in regards to cleansing things that no longer serve you. And because you have overlooked that work, it is almost like blessings are waiting on that. Okay. So a lot of people do this. They think, well, I'm manifesting, well, I'm using all the techniques, but they don't realize that you can't have anything new unless you've done what you were already told to do. And it doesn't have to be in that area of your life that you're manifesting. You have to look at everything in your life and say, okay, where have I been given instruction to make change and I've decided I'm just not going to do that? Can't manifest past that. It's like a waiting place.
Okay. We have one from Shauna.
Okay.
It's asking, I'm wondering if you can confirm if I'm empathic naturally and or more, and where I'm at with it.
Okay. Well, we all have some level of empathic ability. That's just a given, but some people do have it to a heightened degree, and that would be based on hereditary, just like in your DNA, basically. So you would be able to look back at your family, and you would see certain family members who handled it really poorly, who probably had mental illness or drug and alcohol abuse issues, maybe anger issues, and may have ended up quite isolated. And then you would have other people in your family who had it and they handled it better or really, really well. They would have been the healing entities in the family. They would have been the go-to person. They would have always had a lot of wisdom to give and offer others. So I do feel that you have this to a heightened degree, and I would say that as of right now, it looks like you're at approximately level 3. Again, we have empathic awareness training up on the website or coming up tomorrow, where I break all of this down. Level 3 is essentially going to mean that you've developed a couple new things, aside from the potential anxiety and depressive states that come and go without obvious triggers. You would also notice that you have something called telepathy. Right, the ability to hear other people's thoughts as though it is your own thought, and something called electric person syndrome, which is about manipulating involuntarily electronics. So like burning out light bulbs, draining batteries, computer systems all shut down. And this is mostly when you're really excited or you're really upset. Okay, so you want to understand that having empathic ability to that degree is an opportunity for you to be an energy manipulator in all the right ways. It's great for the healing arts. Okay.
Okay, very good. Okay. We have one from Bernadette. It says, the love gods have been blessing me with abundance lately, like too much. People keep coming back. People coming back whose loss I made peace with. So I'm very confused by the abundance.
Well, Mercury retrograde just ended today or yesterday. So if it happened during Mercury in retrograde, it was probably just that. That happened to everybody. Now, don't forget, retrogrades also have like 2 weeks leading up to them and 2 weeks after. So there's leading up and then there's downtime. So you have to look at that span. I believe the last Mercury in retrograde began January 30th, if I'm not wrong. Do we have any astrologers on here? I don't know. So I'm sure everybody knows about it. I'm sure every Virgo and Gemini know exactly when it happened. So that could be part of it for sure. And a lot of people, again, would identify with that because that's what happens during retrogrades. They try to make amends. They try to come back. They try to get back in. If they have a sense of unfinished business or they're just like still drawn to you, they'll make their way. What I do feel with this, too, though, is that there is someone that you seem to be really attracted to who has sort of like a fun, uplifting energy. This person, though, may have a habit of being like unstable. I don't want to say ghosting necessarily, but definitely like being there and then all of a sudden just, being unavailable, or you don't know what this person's doing with their life. And I think that that's part of the interest, is that level of mystery. And it does seem that there are some additional lessons there and fun that the two of you can have together, even though it seems sort of light. Like you can't necessarily approach, this person and say like, I want something committed, or I expect to hear more out of you consistently. It's sort of like you can't approach this person in that manner. This is a free bird. And I think that it's important to allow for yourself to become a more significant player in this person's life just by sharing your life experience, your wisdom, your humor, your charm. And it's sort of like this individual seems to get more and more hooked and want to, have these adventures with you. And so I think that there's a lot there. I think that it's a nice boost also for your for your sense of self-esteem and to understand the value that you do bring into relationships. But that seems to be like the biggest lessons coming out of this right now. This could be leading into something much bigger, though. Okay, so in general, like your love life is actually taking a turn into something bigger than this. So that's sort of a story for another day, but interesting.
Very good. We have one from Callie.
Okay.
Can you tell me if I will purchase or rent a home soon? I am getting a divorce and the market has been tough.
I feel you choosing to rent, not necessarily because you have to, but because it might be easier on you to do so. And so I don't feel that there is a right or wrong answer here. I'm not getting a big red flag necessarily. So what that's going to mean is that it's up to you what you choose to do. Your spirit guides, your ancestors today aren't going to come in here and be like, oh, this is a terrible idea. Whatever you do, make sure you don't do it this way. It is whatever is going to be fastest for you. And I feel it being small. So let's say you were to like buy a small home and be like, okay, well, this is just almost looking at it in the same way that you would a starter home. It's like a whatever kind of a property. It's a transitional stepping stone. I think that would be okay. But even with that, I feel a bit of a holdup. I do feel that renting may be a lot easier for you. And it's ultimately a lot of real estate for you. So down the road, you're going to have a ton of interest in purchasing up properties as like maybe passive income, just additional income for you. So why not really get on that journey, now and give it the time and attention that it needs, So I think that the key here, according to what appears to be a grandmother coming through, mom's side of the family, who's quite forceful and bossy, really, she says that what would be best for you at this time is your peace of mind, okay? Not finding that sort of long-term situation, but your peace of mind to know that something stable is there and to move on. Good.
Okay, we have one from Chicken Mama.
Okay.
Please, can you tell me if my friend Ryan has a message for me? He's recently passed.
So when I go with Ryan's energy, what he's showing me is keeping an eye over you and what would appear to be your finances. He keeps going into your wallet. And so at first I thought this was a very serious message, and now he's like smiling and grinning. So I don't know, maybe it just threw me through a loop here. But he's a goofball. And it's like, what is he doing? I thought he was like helping you organize your money, and now I feel like he's taking your cash. But regardless, right? So I see all these bigger bills. I see bigger bills. I see like starting with tens, you know, and then moving up to like hundreds and $1,000 bills. And so he is definitely he tucks it back in and he makes me feel like no. I'm trying to give you whatever you need. He says, not just about the money. It's not just about the money. He wants you to know, first of all, he's doing very well. I feel like up to his antics, up to his tricks. I feel like he disappears for periods of time. He may have done that in life too, but I feel like you should expect that from him. That sometimes you won't hear anything from him for like a really long period of time. I had a buddy who died who would do that for like, 4 or 5 years, and it would really bother me. And you have to understand that everybody's different, they're just people. And so, he does what he does, but he doesn't ever like check in with everybody. What do you call it, Paul? The Irish goodbye? Yeah. Okay. So like, I don't know, that sort of like disappearing act that some people do. And it's like, hello. But they come back and it's like no time passed. It's like you've always been together. Like you've just always known each other and you've always been friends even in between. And so he gives me that feeling about your relationship and how you understand that. And I would not be surprised, though, if sometimes there are gaps. Ultimately, though, even when he's not coming around a ton, you can trust that he's watching over your resources, your money, and anything that you need in your life. So if you need a break, you need some good luck, you need help with a toxic situation, he's your net. He watches over you a lot, kind of almost reminds me of like a lover, like a brother, or like, this protective, paternal energy. But he says that you guys shared a lot. I feel like emotionally too, which is just a really beautiful thing. I think this is a lovely friendship. He's also handing you a pink rose, which is a new beginning in your life. Now that could be a new love, but it could also be like the launch of a new career move or a new business, anything like that, a new beginning for you. Very proud. Mm-hmm.
Okay. This one is from Eileen. Can you tell me what level empath I am?
Arlene, looks like at this point you're hitting a 4, but you seem to have been stuck on level 2 for a long time. I always think it's a little odd when someone is like a level 1, level 2, and it's like for like 20 years, and then they just like shoot up to the highest level. Like, what the heck happened? And that's all I can tell you, is that some stuff happened. That doesn't just happen by accident. It has to be triggered. We're going to be doing a free mini class here at some point called intuitive triggers or something like that, and we'll break that down. But what I feel has happened for you is a lot of massive change, and it may have been traumatic at 2 different episodes over the last 2 years or so, where you feel as though you were sort of jolted in life. And what that does is if you're an empath, it can activate you up into the higher levels. And I feel like you just went right over 3. So I won't even waste any time on that. At this point, what you're probably experiencing is some mental confusion, sleep disturbances. You may not even be sleeping a ton at night. You may be sleeping more like at later hours, 5 to 7 in the morning. You may feel that you can get a little bit more rest. A lot of activity at night, especially between 3 and 5:30 in the morning. You would also notice overabsorption of other people's energy, but not necessarily figure that out. So going into stores might really affect you. Being in larger groups may really affect you. You may need more personal space. Meltdowns, emotional and mental meltdowns, feelings of sadness or anxiety and not being sure why or where the triggers are. There's just a lot going on there. Typically at the 4th level also, we have a lot of noise and light sensitivity, like to the point where you chuck your TV and, you don't like that sound coming at you. Places like Walmart are absolute torture. So you're just kind of trying to stay in a kinder environment all the time, and that gets really tricky.
Okay, I want to thank here bunch of donators here. We had Lola, Maya, Alex, Callie, twice, Shauna, twice, Eileen. Thank you so much. Means so much. Thank you guys. And Lola, Mia, Bernadette also. Thank you so much. Mala said thank you. It's her birthday today.
Happy birthday.
So yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much for the donations, guys. Absolutely. Again, if you want to become a member, we're not done with the show yet, but I'm just going to take a quick little break here. You can hit that join button for behind the scenes extras, direct spirit messages, all kinds of good stuff. We just bought an 1800s Victorian funeral home, and so we're going to be posting to the members, I think tonight, some behind the scenes footage, So that's super exciting. We're restoring it. And I do want to ask everybody, I forgot, if everyone could hit that like button, greatly appreciated. Okay, feel free to subscribe as well. We ready to move on?
Yes.
Okay.
This one is from Sarah.
Okay.
It says, do you see me having any kids?
I think that you could. And I think that once you get started, it could be interesting in the way that it's like bam, 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 bam. They all sort of happen at once. So you do have 3. You have 2 that are a set, and you have 1 that is an individual. Now, when I see 2 that are a set, it can mean that it's like 2 boys and a girl, but it typically means twins. And so they can make a liar out of me at any time. They could switch up gender or birth order, and doubles can decide to come through as singles if they chose to. So what I feel, though, as of today, is that you have these 3, 1 being a set of twins, 1 being a single, and I think, okay, so that makes some sense. So that might be why it looks awfully like kind of a avalanche, coming at you all of a sudden. That's probably why. Yeah, because the age different, or the gap in years between them doesn't seem to be more than like 2 or 3 years. That's a lot to do all at once, okay, when you get a little bit of a surprise package in a double. So yes, but you also have free will, so you could choose not to do this, and they will find another way to you. That's how it goes with kids, through family members' kids, or someone you mentor over in the future even. Lots of possibilities. Very cute.
Okay, this one is from Chosen.
Okay.
I feel called to work in psychic energy healing. Do you feel or receive anything regarding this?
Well, I think that you could. I think that as long as you're doing it without expecting a lot of traditional payment, like, having a lot of financial success, I think that you could find it very fulfilling. So I don't see it necessarily as a lucrative business practice for you, but I do see it as a good transfer of energy in the way that you're pretty effective in being able to move and shift energy. That's, I guess you could call that psychic. I would say that's empathic. That's the ability to manipulate energy, is what empaths are. So to move things is good. I do a Reiki training here at the Academy where I include something called psychic surgery. I'm sure you're familiar with that. And that does seem to be something you can easily do. Now, I think that one of the other things that works for you is that you have a way of identifying what is blocking a person. And what a lot of healers, I think, don't do is confront that. I think that healers that do tend to do it wrong, and it's super inappropriate and really invasive. If a person comes to you, for example, for a Reiki session, it's not really super appropriate to bombard them with like spiritual messages or, a lot of other stuff, unless they know that's your style. So I think that within appropriate bounds, if you could really polish your craft with this and be able to tell people, look, you got a big block here from like a past life issue, or this chakra is blocked because you're not properly communicating with someone in your life, or you're carrying a lot of guilt or survivor's guilt or shame from something that was from your parents. It's not on you, generational issues, whatever it is. And I think that you should definitely be working with that energy. I think that would be helpful, really helpful to some people.
Okay, we have one from Monira.
Okay.
Is my husband, Mostafa, my soulmate? We've had a lot of major issues lately.
I don't think so. I believe that we get approximately 5 to 6 soulmates over the course of our entire lives. I don't think this relationship was based on that. I think it was based on almost like efficiency. It was based on like societal standards. It was based on like a to-do list, like we should get married, or like here's what we need to get done. And it fit that role, but it doesn't fit, universal like soulmate energy, kind of destiny charted roles. Not really. And so I think that what's really important for you to be focusing on right now is whether or not that's something you want to pursue, with someone else in your life. Is that an experience you were hoping to have? And if that's the case, you may want to be really honest about what this relationship means. And I think that it's going to be difficult sometimes to get through to him when he doesn't have a lot of interest in like growth or like working with you to make the relationship better. Sometimes people also reach a point where they're like, well, I don't really know what else I can do. Look, I am who I am. And they kind of detach, and I feel him getting quite distant with that. So it could be a bit tricky for you to try to make this work, even if you chose to stay.
One from Scorpio Mom. What kind of clairs do you think I have? I'm new to this. LOL.
Okay. We have a free mini class up here called The Clairs. We also have a downloadable 2-hour training up on the website. Link is in bio, called The Clairs, where I in-depth actually train you in those. But it would appear that you have something called clairsentience. Clairsentience is the ability to feel in your physical body what someone else is experiencing. So if you ever get a headache and you were like, I don't know where this came from because I was perfectly fine, but you're standing next to someone in the line at the bank, he probably has a headache. If you feel physical impressions that tend to sort of come and go in a phantom kind of way, but nobody's there, you can also pick up on them from spirits. You can also pick up on them from animals. All right, so clairsentience is the coming and going of physical impressions in your body as though they are your own. The other thing I'm feeling with you is something called clairempathy. Clairempathy, people confuse these two. They think they're the same or interchangeable, and they're not. A lot of people have clairsentience, and they don't have clairempathy at all. So clairempathy is the ability to emotionally feel or mentally think what others are experiencing.
Okay. This one is from Crafts for Kids.
Okay.
Should I move into a new office space or stay where I am?
I feel like stay where you are because something else is coming up right around the corner. So this isn't really like a yes or a no. It's like a yes, but not right now, or not probably the spaces you're looking at. So we have a free mini class up here called Divine Timing, when to make a move. That's going to be key for you. Check that out. You have to know when, like this is the one. I think that where you are, it's almost like you're saving money, or, you're somehow in a familiar enough space that you understand what's going on. And I think that picking one of the ones that are coming up now are going to throw that energy off and consume more. So it could be financially, it could also be energetically, mentally, and possibly really take the high vibing energy out. We always want to be careful in business that we're not putting out more than what we're getting back. And I'm talking about energetically, because the minute you do that, you throw law of attraction, you throw manifestation off its game. And it's like, even if you think it's a good move for, the growth of the business or financially or whatever for advertising, it could have a counter effect. And I do think that within the year, though, you're going to see a space that is like just right for you. And it may be a little off the beaten path, but it is what it is. Mm-hmm. Make people come to you. Yes. That's what manifestation is. Come and get it. Come and get it. I'm not coming to you. Come and get it.
This one's from Jane.
Okay.
It says, I'm wondering if there are any messages for me from my father, Jack. Today would have been his 78th birthday.
Okay. So when I go over here with your father, he's showing me playing cards. And it's almost like he's trying to play a game with you. I also feel that he's following you in numbers. He's showing first the number 4. Okay, interesting. So he's showing me first the number 4, which means that you have change going on in a significant way in an area of your life. He is letting you know through that number that he's supporting you, as are your ancestors, as are your guides, that this is a needed change. He's also showing me the number 5 directly after that, which is major change in all areas of your life. Okay, so there's something big going on here. He also makes me feel like this is part of like a 2-year process for you. And I think that he sees you still as a little girl. I'm not saying that you don't have a smaller child, but I feel like he's referring to you in this. He sees you as his little girl. And he wants you to know that he's still like holding you, carrying you, uplifting you, protecting you. He picks you up and then puts you over a puddle. Okay, no, a puddle isn't any major disaster in life necessarily, but it's almost like I'm trying to prevent you from becoming uncomfortable or having to like wear wet shoes, or having to, how do I want to say this? Maybe sometimes you're not always understanding the nature of certain situations, and you don't, because you're incapable as a human being right now of fully seeing ahead to the other side. He has a way of sort of lifting you up and over that obstacle. And I think it's a really beautiful thing. He also shows me he's in good company. Okay. And I see him smoking a cigar, which is symbolic of celebrating, a graduation point in your life right now. Ton of love to you. Watch for him in a dream. This could even be tonight. Okay. But an actual visit dream. Yes.
Well.
Yeah.
Okay. This one is from Ira.
Okay.
I just started a new job in November,
Okay.
but have recently felt I need to find something new. Should I be looking to get elsewhere?
I think that what's really happening here is that you're supposed to be using more of your creative skills, and you're supposed to be communicating more, and you're supposed to be getting involved with more management-like opportunities. And I think that if you leave this to go over to something else that's kind of random, it could end up being that you feel the same thing there. So we don't want to just sort of perpetuate the problem by putting a Band-Aid on it instead of looking at the actual root cause of this feeling. And so let's talk about your life contract. Okay, you guys can book a life contract reading with me at any time on my website, and that's where I look at what you agreed to do before you came to Earth. So when we look at your life contract, what we're looking at here is an ability for you to help and guide people. I'm not saying they have to be elderly per se, but I do get the sense that a lot of them are in like debilitating situations. Circumstances are holding them back. A lot of times it may be mental or health related. And you being able to work with them in a one-on-one type of a way or in a one-on-one setting, but not only that. It's almost like you're managing care for them, or you would be managing projects or activities for them. And so this could affect groups of people. I think that what you're doing right now is just sort of treading water. I feel like you're helping and assisting companies that you don't really believe in. It has sort of a corporate, empty, bland feel to it. And that's why you're always feeling unfulfilled. Okay.
Okay. This is from Stina.
All right.
I may be sure for Christina. I feel strongly connected to my last partner, Cameron. We are in no contact at the moment, but I feel his energy all the time. He also visits my dream a lot.
Yeah.
I want to know what is up with feeling so deeply connected.
So when we have a soulmate connection with someone or a karmic contract, we have something called cords. If you want to fully understand this and start dealing with it in a productive way, see my class called Relationships, Boundaries, and Cord Cutting up on my website. Now, what happens is you are able to pull and tug at each other's energy through these cords. So he can pull in your attention to him voluntarily or involuntarily without ever actually reaching out to you. He will visit you in your dreams constantly, or you will be having dreams with him in it. You may also ask to travel together. You would be doing the same thing to him. So anytime you go through something new in your life, or anytime you think about him, he can feel that. And so he would feel a tug at that cord from you, whether you meant to do it or not. And it creates obsessive behaviors. So you feel that even though many, many years maybe pass, or you live overseas or whatever, we can't let go when there are cords. So it creates this dynamic of a almost obsessive-like relationship, even though there is technically no relationship going on, and anyone new who comes in gets compared back to that person all the time. This person sort of haunts you, and you would also start to feel eventually like something's wrong with you. Like, am I crazy? Why do I always hear his name? Why am I always thinking of him? Why does it keep popping up? Other people may even bring him up, right? And so it's really important that you get a handle on it, because if this lingers in your energy field for too long, what happens is that you read to other potential love partners where you could have a successful relationship, you read as being unavailable. And when we're seen as being unavailable, or committed to someone else, or maybe they just think you're lying, even though you say you're single. You know, they don't know what. All they know is that energetically you're unavailable. You attract a low level dating partner or partners to you. These are people who aren't interested in growth necessarily. They're not interested in a long-term committed relationship. They don't plan on you being around because you're unavailable. So they don't plan on contributing much of anything. That is not where it's at. So we have to cleanse this out of your energy field. And you could do that with or without the cord cutting, but I would definitely check out the class. It's time to get a handle on it. That's what this is. Yeah. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Please subscribe. Please hit that like button. Very appreciated. Thank you again for any new members, all the donations. And I do want to invite you guys to check out on Thursday back here on YouTube, the Intuitives, the Exhausted Intuitives Survival Guide free mini class. Is that at 8 p.m.?
That's
Eastern?
at 8 p.m.
All right, very good. Thank you, Polly.
Thank you.
Spirit. See you guys next week.